welcome. We're here in La Jolla with Christine Forster. Christine Forster is an arts advocate and a businesswoman here in San Diego. She began her career as an architect for building hospitals, and in the 1980s decided to apply the same analytical approach to business to helping firms with marketing and brand strategy, which is what she currently does now with Christine Forster Catalyst. So active in the San Diego community and involved in the arts. She is formerly a board member of the Museum of Contemporary Art San Diego, the Museum of Photographic Arts, and currently is an advisory board member of Scripps Institute of Oceanography. But I think one of the most fascinating and interesting things that Christine does is working with President Obama on the President's Committee for the Arts and Humanities, which we'll talk a little bit more about this afternoon.
Well, the committee is chaired by Michelle Obama, and actually I wish this interview was to be in a week versus today, because we have our annual meeting this coming week where we are going to have a lot more defined task. The first year was really to research what could be done, what can be done, what will be done, and now we are going into implementation. But basically, the First Lady, as you know, undoubtedly is very, very interested in the arts and culture, and also, of course, in children. And combining the two, she's extremely interested in restoring the arts and humanities into the school system. And this is one of the big initiatives that will be developed. And it's, I must say, the people involved, I think maybe as a sign of the time, because so much of the funding have been cut in the arts and humanities in the school system across the country, that the people involved are quite committed and spend quite a bit of energy, time, and effort in trying to help restore that. So that's one of the primary goals, actually, of the Commission.
It's an excellent and worthy goal, and it's something I know that Americans for the Arts is working on, and they've actually talked to the San Diego Fine Arts Society about that, in what ways can we be innovative and kind of overcoming the obstacle of how do we fund art teachers in schools, and what private ways can we create solutions?
Well, the problem is complex, actually, because there is no funds, as we know, sadly. So the problem is quite complex, because also to invite artists in the classroom very often become the obvious solution, trying to get some free services and so forth to help. But at the same time, the artists are also very hard put right now to earn a living. Right. So it's very complex in as much that the artists cannot always donate their time, services, and also work. But also that sometimes it could be also a little bit frightening or threatening, I should say, for the teachers to see an outsider come and take over the classroom. So I think that one of the way also that we have to look at arts, let me backtrack a little bit. If we ask parents, do you want your kids to have more classes in science, or do you want to have your kids have more classes in the arts? The majority of the parents, even if they believe in arts and culture in the school, will say science, because they will feel quite strongly that that might lead to a better job, more secure job. So one of the ways to reach that, which will also help in terms of the classroom, is not to talk in terms of the arts as, to talk of the arts as a tool to creativity and innovation. Right. And if you talk about creativity and innovation, it really expands the role. I'm sorry for my snoring dog.
No,
it expands the collaboration, the community collaboration, for one thing. Wake up, wake up.
That's hilarious. You weren't joking. He's like,
keep
oh,
snoring.
Mom.
Yeah, right. But so I think that by looking at creativity and innovation, we can expand the role of the arts. We can bring the art in a more active way. If you think in terms of arts and creativity, you will find it in science, in bios, and, biotech, high tech, in any of the field. And San Diego is very evolved in those areas.
That ability to think creatively and out of the box, that doing art in school and in a regular way helps build those young minds and expand those synapses so that we can be a fertile region for, great jobs, great inventions. And I think we're also creating more happy people.
Absolutely. There's something quite interesting happening is that now a lot of parents are older than they used to be. And so they have young children. So when they come here for position within the biotech, high tech, wireless tech, or green tech, clean tech, they also are very concerned about the quality of education in this community. They also, coming from other places, have demand in terms of what I refer to as a canvas of excellence, which is the quality of life that they want to have for themselves and for their children. And I think that San Diego is very well positioned to offer that. I think one of the problems is that we have suffered for a long time of an inferiority complex vis-à-vis Los Angeles. Yes. But certainly it is no longer justified. I think we are very self-sufficient, which we didn't used to be. And I think that, but one of the problems really is for San Diego to get an identity that is that transcend the one we used to have, which is a military town. It's an asset to us to have the military here, but it's not all what we are, and not anymore a lot of what we are. And then we also have to make sure that we are identified for arts and culture. We tend to be identified on the outside for our beaches and the sunshine. And if you ask a lot of people what we have on the Mesa, they will say high-tech, biotech, but I don't think that most of them know how much of a hub, national, international hub it is. The same thing applies to arts and culture. If you ask them how many of the plays that generate in San Diego go on Broadway to great acclaim, I don't think they will know. Most of them will not know, unless they are particularly involved in that. So I think it is very important for us to highlight what we are. The Museum of Photographic Art, for example, is one of the few in the country totally dedicated to the arts of photography and cinematography. Minge is a gem of a place. There are very few museums of crafts of the quality of Minge. Museum of Contemporary Art is always on the cutting edge of what's happening in the art. And yet I don't think really that is very well known. I think in some ways maybe more abroad than on the East Coast.
And we found that in working with the Timken a little bit. We did an Art Pulse TV tour through the Timken, and there are some world-class jewels in there that connoisseurs know, and they come specifically for that museum that many people in San Diego don't even realize what's inside the Timken. Yeah. How do we as individuals and as parents and as business owners affect change?
Well, I think that's a good question, and I think there is a lot we can do, but I think we need support to really have a context in which to do it, and in which parents can become more effective, teachers, businesses, and so forth. I think one of the perception is that
art is elective, culture is elective. There is one aspect of art and culture that we have not touched upon, which is very important, is that art is also a financial, produce a return on investment, which is sizable. And that is often overlooked by people. They think that the art cost, art does not return funds. And if we look at a city, for example, like Santa Fe, New Mexico, it's a very good example of a city that has become not only a national but international destination, and that has become flourishing in terms of the economy. Right. And it's all based on its cultural life, basically. And I think that our city fathers and mothers and the population in general should be made more aware of that art is also a business, and it should be encouraged. One of the issues we have had is that there is some reciprocity among the big cities, and we are a big city. We are, what, the 6th, 7th largest. People, by and large, sadly do not really shop and take the time to do a lot of things in this community in which they live. Right. Because they don't have time, they work. I fall in that category. I see more art when I go away because I take the time that when I'm here, when I work. I go to New York, I go to DC, and I say to my friends, you're so lucky, you can go to plays, you can go to shows, you can go to exhibit and so forth. They say, I intend to, and they don't because they live there. They come here and they say, you're so lucky you can walk on the beach every day. And I said, I intend to, and I don't because I don't have time. Right. So in a way, I think that we export people who go to museum and shows and whatnot in other cities. We should find a way to project the community, this community, as a destination for the arts as well, because we have what it takes. Right. And so I think that we have to go back to the notion that the arts are the tool and the vehicle for creativity and innovation. And creativity and innovation is what we need most of right now. It's a matter of fact, the Obama administration is focused, highly focused right now, on creativity and innovation as a means to restore some part of our economy. And they view it, of course, as job creation in fields such as high-tech, biotech, and so forth. But again, you cannot be creative and innovative if your mind is not fed with what trigger creativity. The looseness of the spirit of being curious, of being creative, is really the driving force behind what we see in a lot of those people. In forming our identity around that, because I think it is key to the quality of our life, to our economic recovery. Right. And I think the arts become an intrinsic part of the toolkit, in the toolkit of creativity and innovation in everything. You take even, for example, the Neuroscience Institute here, which is, one of our jewels in terms of research. They created an auditorium which, as a community, we are lucky to be able to benefit from that auditorium because they are very generous in allowing the community to have performances there. But the auditorium was really created for their own because most of the people in neurosciences and in mathematics and so forth are musicians.
Oh, interesting.
And they created that auditorium as a means to get their scientists to communicate in other form to form bonds when they are working together. We covered everything.
I think we did.